Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IT Visualizer channel. We will continue our lab, the Red Alert Lab. This is the video number 51. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have started from 2 videos ago working on a topic which is securing Microsoft Edge browser based on the recommendations of the Department of Defense and the Defense Information System Agency of the United States. We have discussed a lot of recommendations. Some of them concerns importing, setting and other browser history and passwords from other browsers to your Microsoft Edge. We have said that our browser in our production environment should not be changed manually by the user from the options or through importing other settings from other browsers. So our browser should not or its options should not be changed either by import or either by manually changing its options. We should as administrators control the options and setting of the Microsoft Edge based on group policies that we will apply in the domain. Okay, so by preventing importing of settings from other browsers and manually changing the options, we can control what the user should use from the Microsoft Edge. Anyway, we have stopped the last time at this recommendation: password manager must be disabled. So we should not under any reason save any username or password on the Microsoft Edge, because as I have said before that Microsoft Edge is always confronting the internet, okay, and this is the most application that is facing the internet, so its probability to be hacked is large, okay, even more than the Windows operating system itself. Anyway, so we need to secure this Microsoft Edge as much as possible. Okay, so what if we have disabled saving of usernames and passwords on the Microsoft Edge? Where can we save our passwords? We have a lot of usernames and passwords. Where can we save it? We can use specialized software to save our passwords. Some of them are built in the Windows, something like the Credential Manager. You can use it to save your passwords and usernames. It will be saved there and it will be encrypted, so no one can hack this Credential Manager, okay, unless he has the encryption key. Okay, so this is one. Or you can use specialized software. We will see in the upcoming videos how we can use open source software, password manager, third-party utilities to save your passwords. Okay, so it will not only save it, this specialized software will save your password and it will encrypt it, okay, with a strong encryption key. So we need to disable saving of passwords on our browser. So we need to go to the password manager and disable this option. Okay, so we go to the password manager and application, enable saving of passwords to password manager is disabled, so we need to disable saving of passwords to the browser. The next recommendation is the HTTPS warning page must not be able to be bypassed. Microsoft Edge shows a warning page when users visit sites that have SSL errors. Okay, sometimes when you go to a website and this website uses a secure connection using the HTTPS, this secure connection needs SSL. So SSL is when SSL is combined with the HTTPS protocol, okay, it gives you a secure connection. Sometimes some of these websites that use the HTTPS has some SSL errors. I think it's something related to certificates or something. Anyway, by this error, the website is not secure. Okay, what happens by default for the browser of Edge, that will give you a warning saying that this website, even though it is using HTTPS protocol, but it has an SSL errors, something related to maybe the certificate or something like that. Let me try to see what is Microsoft Edge HTTPS warning. Here let's see How do I fix not secure message in Edge? Let's open this one. Make sure that the date and time is correct. Security certifications are used by our web browser and computers to make sure a particular site is safe. So here, when an SSL error appears because your certificate that you have taken from the website is expired, okay, or there is a problem with the date and time of your machine. And this also, if the date and time of your machine is not correct, maybe this will make the Windows think that your certificate is not valid anymore. So here we are saying that you will not be able to browse any HTTPS website or a secure website unless your certificate is valid and it is working. Okay, let me see what are SSL errors here. Let's see, HTTPS SSL errors. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's see here. So as far as I know, that this error will appear when your certificate is not valid. So here what we are saying here, if you are trying to browse a website that is secure using the HTTPS protocol and SSL encryption and certificates, you should be sure that your certificate is still valid to browse the website. Okay, so this is it. Here is saying here, this group policy says that you should not be able to bypass the warning of the Microsoft Edge. So for example, if you go to a website that use secure HTTPS protocol and the certificate you took from the website so you can be able to browse the website, it is expired, it will give you a warning and it will not let you continue browsing the website. So this is it. We are saying here that HTTPS warning page must not be able to be bypassed. Okay, so this is one of the things we need to make sure, not to bypass the warnings. Okay. So we need to go and enable this group policy. So you go to Edge, I think, and we need to search for this group policy. I know, guys, if you have, I have some errors that some users get. For example, if you left your machine for too long and you didn't open it, and then you open it and then begin working on it, or open and log in and then try to, for example, search something on Google, sometimes it gives you an error saying that you could not able to search Google or your certificate, or there is an error connecting to the website or the search engine of Google. The problem here that your date and time of your machine is not correct, so that the certificate that is given to you by Google so you can be able to browse Google website or go to their search engine, it appears to be expired. Okay, so he will not let you search through the website or through the search engine. So you need to modify your date. This is the kind of errors that will appear. This error, it will give you an HTTPS SSL error. Okay, so this is one of the things also got into my mind concerning these kind of errors. Okay, and it will not let you browse Google website. Okay, unless your certificate given to you by Google is valid, still valid. Okay, so let's go and allow users to proceed from the HTTPS warning page. This is disabled. Okay, then another thing, the version of Microsoft Edge running your system must be a supported version. We have seen, or have I said before, that security issues concerning most programs appears every day. Okay, so it is fixed by updates. Okay, so you need to make sure that your Microsoft Edge is always updated to the latest version, to overcome or to prevent problems happen to the browser. I mean problems here to hack the browser or to do something like I said. Security flaws with software are discovered daily. Vendors are consistently updating and patching their products to address newly discovered security vulnerabilities. Okay, so you need to make sure that your Microsoft Edge is always updated on regular basis. This will be done using the WSOS or Microsoft Windows Server Update service. This service will make sure that it communicates with the Microsoft website to get the latest updates for the Microsoft Edge and to push it to all of your clients in the domain. Okay, here I will do a test. I will see the Microsoft Edge on my PAL machine or privileged access workstation and see if I have the latest version. Okay, and I'll try to update it. Of course I will update it manually. I will not update it through WSOS, but this is just to show you guys that you need to have your Edge always or to have always your browser up to date. Not always your browser, your operating system, your applications, all of these should be updated or should be up to date. So we all know that WSOS is responsible for updating most of your Microsoft products. What about non-Microsoft products? You need to purchase something called Patch Manager or a third-party software that will communicate with different vendors' websites to get their latest update and push it to all of your non-Microsoft applications. One example is the SolarWinds Patch Manager. Okay, it's very famous for updating non-Microsoft products, okay, either directly to push it, I think, or through the WSOS. So there will be a link between the SolarWinds software patch manager and the WSOS. It will push the updates to the WSOS and the WSOS will push it to the clients, okay, in an indirect way, because the WSOS cannot or it will not accept updates from non-Microsoft products. Okay, this is something like a link between the SolarWinds software and the WSOS. It will push it or push the non-Microsoft updates to the WSOS and it will let it update it. Okay, some softwares work directly, they push the updates directly to the clients. I think something like system something called SCCM. Anyway, so we need to make sure that the Microsoft Edge is always up to date. Okay, so we need to go and see the browser. Here I will check my browser and see the version of the browser and check the Microsoft website to see if I have the latest version. This I will do it just to a purpose of demonstrating that you need to make sure that your Microsoft Edge version is up to date, but this will be done by the WSOS. The WSOS will push the updates every time a new update for Microsoft Edge appears on the Microsoft website. So I will go and test. I will show you all how we can see the version of Edge, how we can go and see from the options the Microsoft Edge version and how we can update it manually. Okay, this is only to show you all how we can do this, but in a production environment this will be done by the WSOS. Okay, so here we will open the WSOS. Here is the details, but from the details we cannot get the version of the Microsoft Edge. We need to open it, and from a certain option we will know the version of Edge. I will show you all how we can do this. I think from the options or the setting and then help, we will see the version of Google, a version of Microsoft Edge. We will go and go to no, we can go further because still there is some versions. Help, okay, and then about Microsoft Edge. Here we can see that it will get us the version. Here it's trying to check for updates, but my POW doesn't have internet. We have said before that this is to secure this workstation. The version is version 89. We need to go to Microsoft website and see if this is the latest version for Microsoft Edge. So I will go to my laptop and search Microsoft website and see if this is the latest version of Microsoft Edge. This is the manual way for updating the Microsoft Edge. Okay, so here we can see that we have version 93. So these are the Microsoft Edge releases we have. At that time I was recording the video, the latest version was 93, okay, not 89. So you need to update it. You can update it directly, okay, from the browser itself, or you can download the installation file and install the update, okay, or install the whole product. Okay, let me show you all how we can do this. So here we can see that we have version 93 and my current version is 89. So there is a lot of versions that I have missed. And here is the schedule, okay, for the versions to be released. Okay, so we can see that version 92 is available, version 93 is released, and some versions are still planned in the future. So here we will go to Microsoft Edge download. Okay, I will download the latest version of Edge and update it. Okay, you can do this from the option itself. So by the way, why I'm doing this, because I don't have internet on my POW machine and I will not use the WSOS for updating the Microsoft Edge. So let me show you all how we can do this. If I open here from this one, if I open this is another way. So we can go here and tell him help and feedback, and then Microsoft Edge. So here what I can do here, checking for updates. Okay, your Microsoft Edge is up to date. I can update the browser from this option here, or I can download the latest version from the Microsoft, or the installation file for the latest version of Microsoft Edge, and install it on my machine. Okay, manually of course. Okay, so this is how we can do this. So let's go and download the browser. So this is only a way to show you download Edge. Okay, and then we tell him to choose download for Windows 10. Okay, here we have available versions for 8.1 and 8, and then accept the download. But here this is the web installation process. Okay, I need the offline installation process. Okay, or I need the whole file. This is a small file. When you double click on it, it will go to the internet and install Edge. I don't need this kind of installation. I need to have the whole file, because I will take it to my POW workstation, which doesn't have internet access. So I need to install it without an internet access. So here we'll go to tell him Microsoft download MSI, download and deploy Microsoft Edge for Business. This is a way that you can get the Microsoft Edge offline version. So you can go now and get it. Here you can choose the version that you need. So here he's saying that Microsoft Edge, here just a moment, I need to go sorry, a little bit here. He is saying that Internet Explorer, just to make sure, Internet Explorer will be retired at June 15, 2022. So Internet Explorer 11 will be expired later June this year. Okay, so you have only limited time to begin depending on Edge. Okay, so this is one of the things also, to retire on 15th of June. So this is one of the things. And we need to go further down too. Here you can choose the version you need to download. Okay, here I can download the 64-bit version. You can choose the versions that you need. It's current and supported, so we'll download the 64-bit version of Microsoft Edge. And also you can download, here is we see that the offline version is file is 106 megabyte, different than the online or web version, which was, or the version of web that will use setup on the web, which is 1 mega. Okay, here you can download from this website the offline installation file for Edge and the group policy if you need. So we will go now and go to my POW and get this file and install it on my POW workstation. This is a way to update the Microsoft Edge on a machine that it is offline or doesn't have internet connection or doesn't have WSOS even. Okay, so WSOS in the network, of course. Okay, so here we need to go, and I have downloaded the file. I will open, or will put it in a shared folder between my virtual machine and my laptop, and try to install the Microsoft Edge on the machine. So here I will take copy of the file. Oh, and I don't need it here. It is already there in my AD collection. So it is, this AD collection is shared between my virtual machine and my laptop. So here is the file. I'll install it. This is how to install the Microsoft Edge. And by the way, this file, .msi file, you can use it to deploy a Microsoft Edge to all of your workstations using group policy or different third-party utilities. Okay, anyway, here the next recommendation, Microsoft Edge must be configured to allow only TLS. TLS, this is a protocol or a type of thing used with secure connections. So if you need to for example connect to a secure website, you need to use HTTPS over TLS SSL. Okay, so this is it. So we not connect to secure websites using HTTPS unless the HTTPS is over TLS. Okay, so set the minimum supported version of SSL. If this policy is not configured, Microsoft Edge uses a default minimum version of TLS version 1. By the way, the TLS and SSL, there is different versions. Okay, so we need to use here is saying that we need to set the minimum to be one of the values. Here he is saying that we should set it to set the minimum version, uses the default of version. I don't know what is the minimum version, but let me first sorry guys, just a moment. Okay, here, because I have missed something. Okay, so let's go further. This is the SSL, so we need to know what is TLS is TLS. So this is a cryptic protocol designed to provide communication security over a computer network. So this will be used with the HTTPS protocol. So the HTTPS protocol is used to connect to secure websites. Okay, so secure websites use HTTPS protocol under or with the combination of TLS and SSL. Okay, so this is what is the transport layer protocol. So let's see what is the minimum version, or what is the minimum version to be used of TLS, because TLS has different versions. So here we need to tell him that the policy or the TLS should be version 1.2. Version 1, it is not secure anymore. Okay, so it's a cryptic protocol used to secure connections to secure websites. Okay, so we need, after installing the Edge, I will go and see if the version of the Edge is updated or not. Remember, it was the version 89, so we need to make sure that the version is updated. If you go to the setting and go to go to more tools, or I can go to help, and then go about Microsoft Edge. Okay, let's see. Here is the version. It is version 93. So we have updated the browser, and we need to configure a group policy to allow connection to secure websites that use HTTPS and encryption protocol TLS version 1.2. This could be a problem because some websites use TLS version 1. Okay, so we need to make sure that all of our secure websites use TLS version 1.2. Site isolation for every site must be enabled. The site isolation policy can be used to prevent users from opting out of the default behavior of isolating all sites. Can be used to isolate additional fine grader anyway. Enable this policy, prevent users from opting out the default behavior where each site runs in its own process. What is site isolation option? Let's go and see. Microsoft Edge site isolation. So what is site isolation? What is site isolation? Here is C. Site isolation is a security feature that separates web pages from each site to its own process. With site isolation, the boundary of a site is aligned with OS level process isolation instead of in-process logic isolation such as same origin policy. Okay, what is site isolation? Is a security feature separate web pages from each site to its own process. With site isolation, the boundary of a site is aligned with the OS level process isolation instead of in-process logical isolation such as so and so. Separates enabling site isolation based isolation for Microsoft Edge. Let's see what is site isolation here. I can't. What is Microsoft Edge site isolation? Okay. Important for security. It's hard for malware to take advantage of this to exploit the browser process. Additionally, process isolation prevents one process from accessing another process memory, which also improves the browser security. Let's say, for example, let's see here this one. So we need to see this. Okay, browsers and so multi-process. Here I need to see an example of this one. No. Sharing about Microsoft Edge over the coming many browsers. Built-in process architecture, browser process, the main process. Okay, here says that now we have covered each process does. Let's walk through about a process that would be running for a user who has one tab open and has two extensions turned on. Many browsers are built in multi-process architecture, which means the browser is split into different processes. Browser process, this is the main process, which helps manage windows and tabs and controls the browser frame, such as the address bar, forward and back buttons, and also route privilege access to utility process like network request and file, so and so. Rendering process, this control how websites are rendered in a tab by executing code provided by the website. GPO, the process is responsible for communicating with GPO to handle all graphical, this is for the graphics, okay, all handle GPO task. Utility process, audio playback, network service, video capture, data encoding are handled. Plugin process and extensions, okay. Crash handler. Now we have covered each process. Let's walk an example of a process that could be running. Okay, it is a couple of things and all. Oh, okay, so he's saying that every process will run in 9 tabs or something, different tabs. Okay, so anyway, see 9 processes running, a browser process for the frame, a GPO, so and so. So this is why we can see in the task manager that Edge is running on in different tabs, okay, so or a lot of tabs. Every tab is responsible for a process, okay, or what seems to be different tabs, okay. Anyway, so this is not what I am talking about here. We need to see why we need to have something like what is process isolation. I need to be this one. Let's say, for example, I need to search t-shirt. Let me see here. I need to go to this example in a specific. So tell him find. Where is find? Find shirt. So here, let's see. Additionally, process isolation prevents one process from accessing another process memory, which also improves the browser security. Let's say, for example, that you are purchasing a t-shirt online and there is an ad on the site. The site that you are on needs access to your credit card information to complete the transaction. However, the aid does not need access to this information. Aids are put in their own process so that even if the aid is compromised, it would not have easy access to your sensitive data. So what is this? My process isolation or site isolation. Here he have every website isolated from the other websites in its process, okay. He's saying this is very, very clear example that if you are having a t-shirt online and there is an ad that appears, okay, and you need to put your credit number to buy this t-shirt, okay, the ad itself, if it is compromised, it will not be able to access the t-shirt online or the online process. It will not be able to hack the online process. I need to see also something like here. So here we can see that this is a very good example of the processes. So every process is configured, or it is separated in something like this. I need to see here a browser. So here we can see that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 tabs. A browser process for the frame of the browser, a GPO process to help display the graphics, a render process that is running the code website, a network service utility to process to help with network request, audio service, a plugin process, 2 extension processes, one for each extension that are running code provided by extension, a crash handler. All these processes work together to give you the browser experience that you have today. Now let's look at another example. In the next example, the user have 4 tabs and 2 extensions enabled. Each tab has 1 advertisement, 2 from one site and 1 from another site. So let's see here. We have, for example, this video editor. So we have render process for the 2 tabs, render process, extension process, browser process, GP process, render process, plugin process. So all of these are processes. So what's after that? This example, open the menu, have 14 tabs, a browser process for the frame of the browser, GPO to help display the graph, 6 render process, 4 render process for each tab. Each tab has its own render process and running the code provided by the website. 2 render process for the aids from the same domain will share a process and will run the code. Anyway, so there is, where is the aid or the advertisement here? Yes, this is the advertisement, buy shoe. So here the process, we can see here that this process will not intervene with other processes for the other tabs. This is what he mean by this. Actually, it's a very good example that we can know from it how the browser works. Every process has a dedicated purpose, and there are numerous factors that affect the total number of processes. So this is a very, very good example. Okay, this is a very, very good example. It shows you how the browser of Edge works. I recommend you all to read this page to know how the Edge works. Anyway, so this is why we need to have this site isolation for every site to be enabled, just to isolate every website in its own process. So if you are opening an advertisement and you're opening a website, okay, the advertisement will not be able to hack the website because every one of them is in a single process that is isolated from the other one. Okay, so this is a way that we can know this. I think we need to pass this real quickly. So here, enable site isolation for every website. So this is one of the things. This is very good example. I have known a lot actually from this, how the browser of Edge works. Okay, then support authentication schemes must be configured. He's saying this setting specifies which HTTP authentication schemes are supported. We all know that HTTP, it's not a secure protocol for websites. Okay, so here is saying that if you use HTTP websites, when you authenticate to these websites that are using HTTP protocol, you need to use a strong authentication protocol. Okay, here we say that this policy can be by using basic, digest, NTLM, negotiate, separate multiple values with commas. So here we need to know what is the authentication method that will be used with non-secure protocols. Here we will use NTLM, okay, with HTTP, or negotiate. Here allow basic authentication. I think this is disabled, this is not one. Here supported authentication are NTLM, so we will connect to non-secure websites, or we will authenticate to non-secure websites using HTTP, using protocol NTLM and negotiate. Okay, so this is a strong authentication protocol. I think using this protocol will send the password encrypted to non-secure websites. Okay, Microsoft Defender Smart Screen must be enabled. We have already enabled this Smart Screen before, and we know what is the function of Smart Screen. I have discussed this before in the previous video. Okay, so we have already configured the Smart Screen. So we can go to Smart Screen setting. We can see from here that it is already enabled. Okay, configure Smart Screen, it is already enabled. So let's continue. The Smart Screen must be configured to block potentially unwanted apps. This is another thing the Microsoft Defender Smart Screen blocks. It blocks malicious websites, malicious downloaded files, and malicious applications or unwanted applications. I don't know what he mean by unwanted applications, but unwanted applications, let's see what he mean by unwanted applications. Okay, the download location prompt must be configured. Here, every time you download a file, he will prompt you where to save it. Okay, this setting provides positive feedback before a download starts, limiting the possibility of inadvertent download without notifying the user. So some sites download, when you click on, or if you go to a website and click on downloading a file, it will download automatically to a location that is already set before. Okay, we do not need this. We need every time you download a file from a website, you will be notified where to save it, so you can know that a file will be downloaded. Okay, so this is the issue. Sometimes when you tell him click on download the file, it will be downloaded and you don't know where is the location of the file, unless you know that it is in the download folders, of course, in Windows. But here we need to notify the user every time he try to download the file where to save it. Okay, so this is ask where to save downloaded files. Here we say this setting provides positive feedback before download starts, limiting the possibility of inadvertent downloads without notifying the user. So here we need to do this. So this is one thing. Microsoft Edge. Okay, so we need to go and enable this group policy as well. And this is a good thing to notify you where to save the file, because sometimes it is saved automatically to a folder. Maybe I don't need to save it to this folder in specific, I need to save it to another folder. So this is a good thing for the user and for the administrator. Okay, so here we need to tell him ask where to save downloaded files to be enabled. Okay, so we try to search for this group policy. I need to see how much time we have spent here. Just a moment. I think we have about 40 minutes. Okay, I think we need to continue because we have a lot of discussion concerning the Microsoft Edge browser. So where to save downloaded files. Okay, enable to ask you where to save downloaded files. Okay, and then we need to track of browsing activity must be disabled. This setting allows website to be blocked from tracking user web browsing activity. We have said before that some websites track your browsing history to know your preferred things. For example, if you you like political news, the websites of political or websites concerned with political news will be advertised to you. Something here we see that some websites track your browsing activity to know what you prefer, so it will put advertisements for you concerning the thing that you prefer. Okay, so here tracking browsing activity must be disabled. Some websites do this tracking of web browsing history. For example, the Facebook or the Google sees your browsing history to know what things that you prefer, or the Facebook does the same. Okay, so some websites have to track your browsing history to know what sites you frequently use or what site you frequently visit, and recommend similar websites for you, or what things you purchased frequently, so it will recommend similar products to you. So here we need to disable tracking of browsing activity. Okay, this is something we need to do. Block tracking of user web browsing activity. This was done by Microsoft through the telemetry option, and there is other websites that use different methods to track your browsing activity. So we need to disable tracking of users activity or browsing activity. So here we can see that block tracking of users web browsing activity. We all remember the great problem that happens between Apple and Facebook when the application when Apple give the user a notification before installing Facebook application on Apple, saying that this application will track your activity or your browsing activity, you accept or not. So this was a big problem because Facebook tracks already the user's activity to have or to give you personalized ads, okay, or advertisements. So this is thing. It was a big problem between Apple and Facebook application. Here we will set block tracking of users web activity to balanced or restricted. Okay, I think here let's see what he mean by balanced or restricted. What is the balanced? Let's see here. He's saying that balanced means blocks harmful tracks and trackers from sites users has not visited. I need to see the okay, here is a block harmful trackers and trackers from sites users that has not visited. Content and ads will be less personalized. So here he will only let the sites that you frequently visit to track your browsing activity, but for sites that you do not visit, he will block the tracking of your browsing history and the harmful trackers as well. Okay, so this is it, and the advertisement will be less personalized. So this is the thing. So we will tell him balance, I think, or we can tell him to restrict or strict. What about strict? Let's see what he mean by strict. So here is strict blocks harmful trackers and majority of trackers from all sites. Contents and ads will have minimal personalization. Some parts of the sites may not work. So this is more restrictive. If you need to be more restrictive, you need the strict option. As for balance, it will be good if you are in a production environment that doesn't need this kind of restrictions. Okay, so this is one thing to do, and then let's continue working with the recommendations. So balanced or strict, and then a website ability to query payment method must be disabled. This setting determines whether websites can check if the user have payment method saved. Okay, so here the website will track if you have he's saying that websites that use payment request can make payment, or payment request has enrolled in Trust API will inform it that no payment methods are available. So it will check if you have payment methods saved, I think, to your browser. Okay, if you have your browser saving your payment info, it will query the browser for the payment methods. I think this is what he mean. Okay, so he said why the website can check if the user has payment method saved. Saved where? Saved to the browser. So this also should be disabled. Okay, because it will track, or it will know this info. This is very critical info, should not be displayed to the website. I can do this as a user, voluntary or on my will, or with my will, not notified. Okay, so this is one of the things also we need to tell him. Okay, to allow websites to query for available payment methods, this should be disabled. Okay, so we need to do this. So we need to go and do this. Payment info. Yes, here this is the one for payment methods. Then we need to continue disable, sorry, when the other recommendations. Let's continue. Suggest of similar web pages in the event of a navigation error. Of similar web pages in the event of a navigation error must be disabled. This setting allows Microsoft Edge to issue a connection to a web service to generate URL and search suggestions for connectivity issues such as DNS errors. So here, if you have a problem with a certain web page that is not appearing, or gives you an error, website is not available, or website is not, so the Microsoft Edge go to a web service and generate another websites that you can use that have the similar content for the website that it is down, or something like this. This setting allows Microsoft Edge to issue a connection to a web service to generate URL or websites and search suggestions for connectivity issues such as DNS errors. Sometimes it will give you similar web pages, or it will give you some suggestions for the error that website is down, for example DNS error, or to give you links to solve problems concerning DNS errors or something. Okay, I don't know why he's blocking this kind of thing, but suggestions of similar web pages in the event of a navigation error must be disabled. Okay, so here this is very clear. He need to disable this kind of option. I don't know why actually, but this is maybe he's concerned about suggesting other websites that these other websites could be not secure. But what about suggestions for solving a problem with the website, DNS errors? Anyway, this could also apply. Some websites maybe gives you suggestions for solving errors, and these websites are malicious. Okay, so okay, we need to disable this kind of option. Here you can see we have about 5 minutes. So we need to disable suggest similar pages when a page can't be found. He is saying that suggest similar pages when the page is down. Here is concerned that the other pages or similar pages could not, or could be malicious or not secure. So here is saying that okay, suggest similar pages when a web page can't be found. This is very, very clear. This is more clear. The group policy is describing itself more than the PDF. So this is what we need to concentrate on. User feedback must be disabled. Microsoft Edge uses the Edge feedback feature. I will show you all where to get it, to allow users to send feedback, suggestions, or customer surveys, and to report any issues with the browser. By default, users cannot turn off the Edge feedback feature. Why you need to disable this kind of feature? I don't know why actually, but he will disable the user feedback feature. Let's show you all where is the user feedback feature. If we open this one, here we can see that this is the one, and here help and feedback. Okay, so if we go there, help and feedback, send feedback. Okay, so here maybe he's worried about the user sending sensitive data or typing sensitive data to the Microsoft Edge. Okay, so maybe this, or to Microsoft. Okay, so we'll disable this feature. We'll go and disable this feature. Allow user feedback, disable this feature. Okay, and the collection feature must be disabled. This setting allows users to access the collection feature, where they can collect, organize, share, and export content more efficiently and with Office integration. So this, remember in the beginning of the two videos when I said why we need to use the Microsoft Edge in specific as a browser, not other browsers, because the integration with the other Microsoft products, Office integration, is saying that he need to disable this kind of feature. Why? I don't know actually. What is the security point? He's saying that collect, organize, and share and export content more efficiently and with Office integration. I don't know why he need to disable this kind of feature. What is the security purpose? I don't know, but maybe he has some concern about this feature. Maybe it doesn't give more explanation about why he is doing this. Okay, the other there is some group policies he explain why he is disabling or enabling such a feature. So here we will go and tell him to disable the integration or the collection option. Okay, the collection option. Let me see here what is the collection option. We can go there and let's see what is the option of collection option in Edge. Brings a Netfee flyout panel that you can access via any tab or window. It serves as the main area where you can go about creating and managing your collection. What is Microsoft Edge collection and why should I use it? Let's see this one. Our collection icon next to the address bar, the new Microsoft Chromium web browser. If you are coming, you will let please rise. Okay, collection is a feature unique to Microsoft Edge, just like integrated tracking prevention mode. It is a distinctive addition that helps the browser and stand out for the rest of the Chromium packet. If you cannot figure out what collection is or how to use it, let's go what you need to know. The collection feature aims to reduce the clutter and the confusion of multiple tabs, bookmarks, and note-taking tools whenever you want to focus on a particular task while using the new Microsoft Edge. For example, let's say that you are comparing products while shopping online, or doing search for your next network or homework assignment. Collection allows you to group your findings easily, be they links to pages, images, videos, and snippets. Okay, it's something like a collection, a place where you can collect websites, collect pages, collect notes, something like that. Not only you can collect stuff easily across websites, browse windows or tabs. It's possible to add your collections in subsequent browsing sessions and to make things better. Collections even lets you insert your notes into the mix. Okay, so it is something like a space. You can save websites, put notes, do other features, okay, with this space. Okay, if you are wondering okay, how to collect connections, okay, anyway, So let me see what is the collection here. If we tell him collections, okay, so here next, to save content later, an image, text or full web page directly to the browser. Let's tell him next, stay organized, next collection, okay, next, no thanks, no thanks. So here for example I tell him to add the current web page, okay, and add a note, this is my favorite website. Okay, let's see here if we can add, okay, so we can add a note, okay, here you can send it to Excel, to Word, so on. So there is an integration between all of these, so you can send the website. Let's tell him to send to the Word file for example. Let's see what it will do. So if you can go there and open the Word file, let's have a moment, see what it will go and do. Okay, this is a good integration between the Microsoft Edge, what I was talking about, that there is an integration between the Microsoft Edge and the Office or the other products of Microsoft. Okay, so here we will disable this kind of thing, and the share experience feature must be disabled. What is the share experience? To access the Windows 10 share experience from the setting and more menu in Edge to share with other applications on the system. What is Windows 10 share experience? Let's see here. Windows 10 share experience. Is a feature responsible for nearby sharing to quickly send files to another device and the ability to resume application activities that you shared on different computers. No, what is shared experience in Windows 10? Is by default shared experience feature is turned on and your device is set to share or receive from your own devices only. No, let's see what is this one. For near sharing across devices, got to show you how. Is a feature responsible for nearby sharing to quickly send files to other devices and the ability to resume application activities. So, although these are pretty handy features, if you are a network administrator working on an environment where you prevent users from participating on cross-device experiences, or you do not find it useful, you do not want to make your devices discoverable by other devices, and you can disable shared experience using a group policy. So this is what we mean by shared experience here. What we mean by shared experience. What is shared experience? What are shared experience on Windows? I need to see what is, to type it, what is Windows shared experience. Okay, it is a field allows to send links, files and messages between devices. So let's see here what we mean by this. Project Rome. Okay, here this is very clear that it is a feature to send files, links and messages between devices working with Windows operating system in your environment. Okay, something for your tablet or your mobile phone or something like this. So we don't need something like this to be working in our production environment. Okay, so we need to disable this feature to access the Windows 10 share experience. Okay, share experience here is sharing files and folders between different devices working with the same operating system. I think it means Windows 10 maybe. So we need to disable this feature. Okay, so we need to disable this feature. I think this will be what he mean by this. If it is from the browser of Edge, so you can send files from your browser of Edge on your PC to your browser of Edge on your tablet to your browser of Edge on your phone if you are using Windows Phone. So I think this is what he mean by Windows 10 share experience. So we need to disable, enable, and then allowing the share experience. We need to enable, and this will hide. Okay, tell him do not allow the user share experience. Okay, something like syncing of data between multiple devices using the same operating system. Guest mode must be disabled. Enabling guest mode allows the use of guest profiles in Microsoft Edge. In a guest profile, the browser does not import browsing data from existing profiles. It deletes browsing data when the guest profiles are closed. So this is the same like in private mode. I think it's similar to that. So we need to disable this kind of feature. Okay, so guest mode must be disabled. We can see here, let me see what is guest mode, or let's go, what is guest mode in Edge. Device use allow to browse a device where they do not want to sign in. In a guest mode, the info about the visited website will not be collected and the automatic suggestions will be turned off. However, this feature can be disabled if the administrator does not allow private searching in the browser. Okay, so this is what we mean by guest mode. Guest mode allows you to browse on another user's device without modifying the signed in profile. If you are signed in with a profile on your browser, browsing data from the guest mode such as favorites, browsing history, passwords, and forum field data does not persist after you close all guest mode windows. Downloaded files are installed on the device, but the history of the downloads is deleted. So this is a very, very dangerous option to use. Okay, so this is something we need to close or disable. Okay, so this is what we mean by guest mode. So we need to disable this feature and then continue working. Relaunch notification must be required. Let's see this. User must be required to restart the browser to finish installation of pending updates and prevent users from continually using an old vulnerable browser version. This is a very good option. If there is an update for the browser and it was installed, the user, and after the installation, the browser should be restarted. A notification should be displayed for the user to restart the browser, and don't let him ignore this warning or this notification. He need to restart the browser, so not to use a vulnerable browser version. This is very good thing to enable. Relaunch notification must be required. I think this is done for the Windows actually also. If you have pending updates for the Windows, he will give you a notification to restart the Windows, and after 15 minutes, if you do not comply, he will restart. Okay, so we have enable, and they'll tell him notify the user that a browser restarts. So here is notifying require. Okay, so this here we need to show a recurring prompt to the user indicating that the start is required. Okay, the other one recommended, I think he can bypass the recommendation. I think recommending the recurring warning prompts the user that there is a restart recommend. Users can dismiss this warning and defer the restart. Here required, I think you cannot dismiss the warning. Here is saying that prompts the browser will restart automatically as soon as the notification period passes the default period is 7 days. You can configure this period with the relaunch notification period. Set the period time for update policy. Okay, so here you can to give you 7 days. Okay, for 7 days. You give notification for 7 days, and at last it will restart the browser. This is a very long time. You need to configure it to give it less time. Okay, you configure this from relaunch notification period. Okay, so this is one thing to do. This is a very good option actually. The built-in DNS client must be disabled. This setting control whether to use built-in DNS client. So we should let the Microsoft Edge to use our internal DNS for resolving websites, or our firewall DNS, but not external DNS servers. Okay, so here is say that this controls whether to use the built-in DNS client. This does not affect which DNS are used. It only controls the software stack that is used to communicate with. For example, if the operating system configured to use an enterprise DNS, this is our case, the same server would be used as the built-in DNS client. However, it is possible that the built-in client will address servers in different ways by using more modern DNS related protocols such as DNS over TLS. Anyway, so we should force the Microsoft Edge to use our enterprise DNS for resolving websites on the internet. Okay, not to use other DNS or external DNS servers. Okay, so this is thing we need to disable. Okay, actually, I have a couple of minutes left, and then we will finish working with this PDF. So we need to go and configure this group policy. Okay, to disable built-in DNS client, disable applying. Okay, and then use of quick protocol must be disabled. Quick is used by more than half of all the connections from the Edge browser to Google servers, and this activity is undesirable in the Department of Defense. What is quick? Okay, what is QUIC? Quick UDP Internet Connection, a general purpose transport layer network protocol. It's a protocol initially designed by Jim Roddenstedt at Google, implemented and deployed in 2012, announced publicly in 2013. As experimentation broadened and described, Quick is used by more than half of the connections from Chrome. So what do we mean by this? What is Quick and why it is dangerous? Like most internet protocol, Quick can be used maliciously to carry out DOS attack or denial of service attack. In more technical terms, Quick protocol is a transport layer protocol that can theoretically replace both TCP and TLS. Okay, let's see here another one. It's implemented on application level, making it more flexible protocol. Why apps use Quick? Google has been pushing for widespread Quick integration since its genesis in the early 2010. While the protocol is technically still experimental and in draft phase, Google already used it in its Chrome browser. So it's a protocol used as a transport layer protocol or to send data. Why it is dangerous? It's saying it's not secure maybe. So what's Quick? It is a new encrypted transport layer protocol. Was designed to make HTTP traffic more secure, efficient, and faster. Theoretically, Quick has taken all the best qualities of TCP connections and TLS encryption and implemented on a UDP. So it's a kind of protocol used to secure traffic for websites that are not secure, that using HTTP. Anyway, the Department of Defense of the United States sees that protocol as a security threat. So we need to disable this kind of protocol, but it is used heavily on Chrome, okay, and it is used heavily to connect to Google websites. So you will find a problem when you disable this kind of protocol. So you need to be very careful when activating this group policy, okay. So this is the end of our video. We have worked, or we have continue working on securing Microsoft Edge. The next video we will discuss another new topic to secure Office 2019 or 2016 or Office 365. Hope this video is informative for you all, and thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.